Hi everyone, welcome. I am Erin, the Two Martini Stitcher, both here on Flosstube and Instagram. And this is my channel about cross stitch, mostly. Sometimes you get my opinions, sometimes you get a little knitting, but it's mostly cross stitch. So hope you're here to see some cross stitch. This is my weekly cross stitch update. It's not a happy hour. Today is Monday, the 21st, September 21st, in the year 2020. Yeah, it's Monday. I think I might be a Monday recorder for a while. Yeah, yesterday, between driving the youngest back and forth to the dance studio and catching the Seahawks game in between, filming just didn't happen. I have definitely been feeling a little like, to quote Phoebe from Friends, a little floopy. Been feeling a little floopy lately. I can't seem to concentrate on anything stitchy or otherwise. I feel very unsettled. Is anybody else feeling that way? A little unsettled? Yeah, it's been, I think it's just going to be this way for a little while. And I'm just going to not necessarily embrace the unsettledness, but work through the unsettledness. I hope everybody had a pretty good week. It certainly was a week. We lost a warrior, a justice champion on Friday in Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It hit me hard. Not gonna lie, guys. That one hit me hard. So yeah, that probably also led to the distractedness. I just can't seem to, I feel like I can't settle. But I did get some stitching done. I'm trying to stick to the plans. I'm trying to stick to the stitchy plans, which it's good. I'm glad that I've had the stitchy plans. Today it's Katanda coffee. I dropped the youngest off with her sister, with the middle at her work, and they headed down to the studio together today. And it's right next to like our favorite like Brazilian acai place. So we got them a little acai bowl treat, and I got a little Brazilian latte treat. Because caffeine is what is needed. Anyhow, what was I saying? Oh, the plans I think have helped at least keep me a little bit focused, even though I feel like my attention is being pulled about 1,000 different ways right now. At least having some stitchy plans keeps me a little focused. So I'm very grateful right now for all the stitchy plans and all the fun stitch alongs that are happening, because they are keeping me somewhat grounded. So I think we'll just jump right in with what I worked on. I didn't have any finishes, no FFOs. I really need to FFO some things because it's end of September. It's fall. I definitely want to get some fall decorating done. Not really a big decorator in general. Like my fall decorating, putting out the fall decorations entails about 20 minutes. But I do have a few cross stitch things that need to be like fully finished so I can put them out. Not sure when that's gonna happen. I'm really gonna try. I'm thinking about it. That's step one. I'm thinking about it. So no finishes, no FFOs, maybe next week. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that. But I'll show you what I worked on. So last week, when we checked in, I was working on Dog's Declaration for Sampler September, and my September plans for anyone who's new here is I was doing a mix of Start-tember and starting things and Sampler September. So I had picked six or seven of what I deem to be my bigger samplers, and I've been spinning them on a wheel, and they've each been getting 3 days of work. So last week I had showed you Dog's Declaration. It had 2 days of work, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it had all 3. I have it on my planner. I think that it was going to get one more day of work. If this looks exactly like you saw it last week, oh well, it's an amazing chart, so we'll look at it again. So this is Dog's Declaration by Ink Circles. I started up here top left. I am stitching this on a piece of 36 count Lakeside linen in the colorway Bisque with all the called for Valdani threads. And this is where I got to. So I think when I saw you guys last week, afterwards, I put in this E and the comma and these little doodads and maybe a little bit more stuff over here. I'm not sure. But I thought this was a really great place to leave it for now with the full life done and the first little doggy in. I love this bird up here. I love this piece. I love it. Now, someone had asked me in the comments why I don't cut my fabric to size and why I'd like have all this fabric to contend with, which is a great question. Mostly it's laziness and or I figure if I don't cut it, then I don't have to worry about having like measured or done the math wrong. So, however, on this piece, it's not going to be, I think it's 3 pages over. This piece pattern is going to take most of this fabric though. So it looks like, why didn't I cut this fabric down to size? Yeah, that piece is going to be, it's going to take up almost this whole thing, which is why I didn't cut it. Also, I don't mind having extra fabric, and I think that's because I stitch in hand. So I usually, when I'm stitching, it is kind of why I like to work down the left-hand side of a chart. I'll just roll up and then I'm just working where I'm working, and the rest of it, you know, I live in the Pacific Northwest, so most of the time it's nice to have a little blanket on your lap. It just hangs over my lap. It's what Janine at Acorns and Threads has dubbed the Portland cut of linen, because it's long and it keeps you warm while you're stitching. So this is it. This is pretty much how I stitch. I stitch in hand, I'll roll it up, and then as I work my way down, I'll kind of roll, you know, a little bit here, and it just doesn't bother me to have a big old whack of fabric. Now, sometimes I will cut them down to size, especially if, you know, I want to use the other portion of fabric for another project, but this one in particular, and things like Farewell to Anger and Harry Potter book covers, they're going to take all that fabric. I do have a problem with being attracted to huge projects. So a lot of them are going to take that much fabric. I do sometimes do things like this though, like see, it's just sitting right here waiting for me to do something with it. Yeah. I mean, now that it's done, I absolutely will cut this out. But yeah, I did stitch that little thing on the big piece of fabric. Honestly, when stitching in hand, I find it easier to have more fabric than less. Like if I'm trying to stitch in hand on a little piece of cut up fabric, I kind of like having the extra. I don't know, it's personal preference. Okay, what else did I work on? I also got the second part of Enjoy the Sunshine Mystery Stitch Along from Tempting Tangles done. Now, part 3 came out on Thursday. I haven't started that yet, but prior to Thursday, I did get part 2 finished. So here is part 2 of that Tempting Tangles Stitch Along all done. And actually, part 3 is part 2 like flipped, which I'm glad, because I kind of assumed, I made the assumption, which sometimes I can go badly, that it was. And some of this I just started mirroring on the other side. But it did look to me like that sun was going to be mirrored on the next part. So I kind of started down that path. So I've kind of started part 3, and there's some green here that I could tell was going to go this direction too. So there we go. I'm mostly caught up. I have the new part to do, but this is a fun stitch, and this is on 28 count linen in lemon by BeStitchMe. And it is the Tempting Tangles Enjoy the Sunshine Mystery Stitch Along. And I'll have that all linked below. It is charted in dinky dyes, and but I did a conversion to Missus Sedas silks for it that I am loving. And we haven't used this one yet. It's actually charted. There's like 1 or 2 stitches down here at the bottom that are in that lighter green that they're in the overlap part of the pattern though, so I figured I'd just leave them for the next time. So it's fun. I love the Missus Sedas silks. They smell so nice. And the linen, and this is going to be a small part releases every 2 weeks for 16 weeks. So this is going to go into like March, and I know that come like January, it's going to be really nice to be stitching with these bright colors a little bit. When it's really dark and hopefully rainy. Hopefully rainy. We've been a little bit dry the past year or so, and with all the fires this summer, it sure would be nice to get a good old soaking. Okay, so I finished that up, spun again for the next sampler, for sampler September, and came up with Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House. I started this the 1st of April for April high tea. It was right when we were in stay-at-home order, so it seemed like the absolute perfect thing to stitch. And I stitched on this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And let me tell you, Friday, I hardly stitched at all. I was in mourning. It was crying and drinking on Friday, but it was hard not to just pick this up, back up, and keep going with it. It's really fun. It's been really comfort stitching for sure. So Seeking Refuge, I am stitching this on a 36 count linen in Stars Hollow Blend by R&R with the called for flosses. I'm using Anchor Black instead of DMC. And I think maybe it might call for whitewash, and I'm using B52 instead. But otherwise, I'm using all the called for colors. There they are. And this is where I got to. So I also, this page is all done now. I needed to do the little 1/1 heart on that page, and then that page was finished. And so then I moved down to the next one and did this green border, which, I mean, seriously, super comfort stitching. And then I started the words, and I love stitching words. So I've been using my samplers for sampler September in Semi-Sane Stitchers Crazy Domino Effect. So this was up to like 700 stitches. I needed to do 700 stitches in that 3 days, and just this repeat of diamonds was quick. Like I was able to get the 700 stitches in those 3 days, no problem. So I love this piece. Love it. So that is Seeking Refuge. And then I was hankering for another new start for Startember, and also to get going on something for the magazine challenge Facebook group. So, and I told myself that I would not start this until I was caught up on Enjoy the Sunshine. So I got caught up on Enjoy the Sunshine, and then I got a start on Thursday on this Autumn Pennies. This is from the current issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. It is by Teresa Vinette of Shakespeare's Peddler, and I don't know why this little penny pincushion just it stole my heart. It stole my heart. So I got started on that. It was really fun to get started on that during Michelle Garrett's. She does a live stitch with me on Thursdays, and they're when she gets home from work, usually around like 4:30. And when I see that little notification come up, I'm like, oh, time to be done with work for the day and sit down and stitch and listen to the chitter chatter of all the stitchers. And so this was the perfect thing to pick up. And then I also worked on this on Friday. Friday I was supposed to work on Stars Bright because it was the 18th, and I work on Stars Bright on the 18th. I hardly did any stitching at all on Friday, but when I did feel like picking something up, I wanted something that would be really easy and mindless stitching, and this is perfect for that. And when I picked it up, I hadn't even remembered that this was the needle minder I had put on it. So it's my descent pin that or a descent like magnet that I turned into a needle minder. But there we go. So there's my start on Autumn Pennies. This is a piece of 28 count raw linen, and I am using, I think only one of these is the called for color, or let's see. Okay, so the yellow is the DMC Conversion. This is charted in all Weeks Dye Works, which I didn't have any. I had sweet potato. Did I have sweet potato? I think I had sweet potato, but I didn't think I had enough maybe. So this is the DMC Conversion for the yellow. And then, oh, this is also the called for DMC Conversion for the green. 310 is the black, or Anchor is the black. Instead of sweet potato, I'm using, this is more of like a coppery color than an orange color, but I love it. This is Red Fox by Color and Cotton. So that's that one. And then instead of Weeks Dye Works parchment, I'm using Gentle Art parchment. And the teal, the listed DMC conversion is 501, but I'm using 3810. So that's what I'm using for this. And I love it. I have plans. I have FFO plans for this. Just like I have FFO plans for it. But I have something in mind. So maybe I'll finish that up this week and get some stuff fully finished. I live in eternal hope. That's all I can say about that is I live in eternal hope. It is being tested lately, but there it is. Okay, so I was supposed to work on Stars Bright on Friday, but I didn't. So instead I worked on it a little bit on Saturday during a Zoom stitchy meetup for the channel members. So you can join my channel. The button is below, like kind of right in the header. It's a blue button that says join. And if you join at a certain level, we do stitchy meetups on Zoom a couple times a month. And I was so happy to have that on the books for Saturday because it was really great to be able to hang out and chat, and we had a great time. I also, this will come up in plans, bobbinated all the floss for my Mira start, and then worked a little bit on Stars Bright. So Stars Bright did not get a lot of work this month, but I did touch it. So this is Stars Bright by Lindy Stitches. I started this on my anniversary this year in April, and I'm stitching this on 36 count Frozen Fractals. I think, yeah, Frozen Fractals by Hand Dyed by Stephanie. That's the linen, and I'm using called for colors. I did sub some of the Weeks Dye Works for classic color works that looked the same, but otherwise you can see this is a this is 25. Yeah, this is a 25 count flip from, oh, that's the pattern, don't look at that, from Bags Plus. So this is from Bags Plus. So it's got a pocket on the back. How excited is anybody everybody else. Like, so excited that there's going to be the next season of Mandalorian next month. I need, like, I'm going to need the distraction come the end of October of some more Mandalorian. I think my husband and I were saying just the other day that we need to do maybe a rewatch before the next season. So it does maybe not seem like it goes with the project. It fits us. So these are from Bags Plus, and I love it because you can put your bobbins in there, or like your over dyes fit in there too. So yeah. So that's where I'm keeping Stars Bright. And I'll show you where I got to. I really didn't get a lot of work, but I'm going to show you because I did work on it, and it's such a beautiful pattern. And I saw that Jen Lee just finished hers. Like, she knocks these things out like there's no tomorrow, let me tell you. See, this is one where I'm pretty sure I'm going to only need half this fabric. But once I get down to the bottom and turn the corner, I probably will cut it. But in the meantime, why? Okay, so I filled in, I think, this granny square and started an outline of another. But that's as far as I got. I don't know why. I don't even have a needle minder on that. Anyhow, so this will come back out next month on the 18th and hopefully get a little bit more love then. And then the last thing I worked on was the next sampler for Sampler September. Next sampler whip to come out. I spun and got and a 4 screw. I've been waiting to work on this. I was so excited to have this come out again. I started this on Arbor Day in April with Jennifer. She's Spunky Jen she's stitching in the bluegrass on YouTube. I always like stumble over which handle to tell you. She's stitching in the bluegrass. Love her Flosstube. If you're not watching her, go watch her. She's like the most calm. I like just need her to come hang out with me because I feel like she would focus my like floopiness. She has the most calming presence. So she's stitching in the bluegrass on YouTube, Spunky Jen on Instagram. And we started this along with a bunch of other people. So if you have this as a whip, want to stitch along, it's Anna Forrest Grusal. Also hashtag all the freaking trees. There's also a Facebook group. I'll link it all below. And I have a hair in my mouth. Excellent. Yeah. So, and this, I need to get 800 stitches in. I am very close. I only have like maybe 100 more to do, maybe less than that. So I probably won't show this again next week. Today is my last day, is the third day to work on it. And I don't know how much, I'm not going to do a whole bunch more, but there we go. I got really good progress. I'm stitching this on 36 count linen in soft ivory, which I think is just a Zweigart color. It's not overdyed. It's not an overdyed hand-dyed fabric. But there we go. So I know I put in this tree, this one, these little ones, that one, this one, these birds, that tree, and then now I'm working on this one. And so this is essentially a page finish. There's like this doodah, and there's a couple branches are on that page, but this is actually going into the next page. And then there's like the very tips of some trees on the next page down. But I feel really good about this progress on all the freaking trees. I mean, it's still going to take me forever and a day, but how good does it look? I love them all. I love this tree. I like that one. I mean, and the stripey, they're all fantastic. Karen Kluba is a genius. And I think she uses every single green, every single brown in the DMC collection for this chart. And look how good it looks. So this one here, I don't think I'm going to finish up the whole thing. I would love to, but it's this big. Actually, they show it as a scissor fob. It's this here. I mean, maybe I'll get that whole thing done tonight. I don't know. I need to pick up a kid at the dance studio later. So between that and fixing dinner, I don't think that whole tree's getting stitched, but maybe. Either way, wonderful progress. And this is in a project bag that was specially made for me for this project by the incomparable Daleen of So Grateful. She was the one who encouraged me to stitch all the freaking trees. She has it done and it looks amazing. Okay. That is all of my stitching cross stitch whips. I do have one new knitting whip. Yay! So I showed you all last week the yarn I had received from Treehouse Knits in Seattle. Here it is, all caked up. Yes, I bought a Swift and ball winder so as not to get myself into another kitten tangle. Look how amazing it is. And my dear friend Annie and I planned to cast on together the Lintilla Scarf by Martina Bem. And it's one of the variations on the Hitchhiker, but it's a ruffly edge instead of like a toothy edge. So we were gonna cast this on together on Thursday, and we did. And I got a nice start on it. And then my big old strong man hand snapped my tiny little size 2 needle, and I had to start again. Whoops. I'm just learning all kinds of new things all the time. Oh, and this is in a cute little tote from Amazon that Annie turned me on to. I'll link it below. It's just this is the small size. There's a big size, but you could easily fit like 3 maybe cakes of yarn. Anyhow, the yarn is Treehouse Knits. I don't know what's happening here. Stuff's coming out of the bottom. All fine. This is, the yarn is from Treehouse Knits. She's on Etsy. I will link her below in the colorway Seattle. It is a 75-25 fingering weight. And I love this color so much. And here is my start. Like, now that I've restarted it, it's going really well. So I'm doing the little wrap and turn on the rows, and I have 1, 2, 3 little ruffles already all done. Look how good it looks, guys. And I'm just loving how this is knitting up. It's going to be just beautiful. So I'll find a little, I know I have a little progress marker, and I'll put a little progress marker in so the next time I show it, you can see how much progress I get it in. I did cast on another project because I've lost my mind, and I decided I can now knit things for Christmas gifts. And I was going to knit something, I am going to knit something for my grandmother. But I will show that next week because I cast it on. Are you guys ready for a funny little knitting story? I mean, it's a good thing that I'm stubborn, really. I cast it on. I think it's called the Blue Jean Shawl. I didn't bring it over. You'll see it hopefully next week. I cast it on. It was going pretty well. And then I made a mistake. I think I skipped a row or duplicated a row, and all of a sudden the increases were going the wrong way. I tried to learn how to tink back. I clearly did it wrong. I was not very far. I was like maybe this far. And I ended up having to rip the whole thing out. It's fine, no big deal. Restart, right? Except somehow I got all the yarn that I had unknit into another kitten tangle. So I had to detangle that and wind it back up first. So I got it all detangled, wound back up, started knitting again. I think the process of like that getting knotted up and untangling it probably weakened the yarn a little bit because I was knitting along, knitting along, knitting along. And one of my stitches broke, like the loop broke. I don't know how to fix that. I once again was not that far. I was about the same spot, actually not even as far. And so I actually am going to like cut off the entire section of yarn that had been tangled up, because you could see it was like fuzzed up. It's also a fingering weight. You could see it was fuzzed up a little bit from getting tangled and untangled. So it's fine. Not a problem. I'm going to cut off all the yarn that had been tangled and restart it. So you will see that project next week. With this one, I learned to do like wrap and turn short rows. And what am I learning to do with that one? Something. I'll be doing yarn overs. There's a little lace section. I'll be doing yarn overs. Something else. I don't know. I'll show it to you next week. It's very pretty. Okay, so those are plans. How about we segue into plans? So those are some plans. I plan to restart my grandmother's shawl. So what happened to the girl that said that she wasn't going to knit, and then when she started knitting said she's only going to have one knitting whip at a time? Lies. They're all lies. You all should know by now, if you've been around, that I lie when it comes to things like this. Okay, other plans this week. Let me see. Finishing up the last day of And For Screw. Tomorrow is our Mirabilia start. Are you all so excited? I am so excited for everybody that's going to be stitching along. For those of you who have maybe not heard, Alicia of Resist Stitch and I are starting our very first Mirabilias together tomorrow. We picked tomorrow because it is the fall equinox. And she's not doing a fall pattern, but I am doing Touching the Autumn Sky. This is going to be my needle minder. So this is what I'm going to be starting tomorrow. I have all the floss all bobbinated. There's only one little pack of beads for this one. Just one little thing of beads, which is good. So I feel like I'm easing in. I feel like I'm easing myself in on the Mirabilia with this one, because it's all just DMC and one pack of beads, and I'm going to be using this amazing piece of autumn linen from BeStitchMe. So this is the linen I'm using. I think I'm going to use it this way is my plan. How fantastic is this going to be? I'm so excited. So those are the first plans, starting that tomorrow. Also going to be starting this little piece of Wonderful from Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. She designs under Hemlock and Rye. I will link her below. It's a Gumroad site, so it's kind of pay what you want or what you can for her designs, which is just lovely and wonderful. And she has some really sweet houses. Like, I think they're kind of wintry Christmas houses. And there's a really fun snarky pattern. And then she put up this. When There Are 9. Yep. So this is definitely getting started. I happen to have a little scrap of Black Ada. Gonna do it in just be 5200. So I'm hoping that'll be started and done this week. Did you guys notice that there was no full coverage piece this week? I told you I was distracted, right? I finally got Farewell to Anger wrangled back into the Q-Snap on Wednesday evening, which I filmed and put up as an extra if you haven't seen it. I mean, to call it a tutorial would be very, very generous. It's really me just filming how I roll and fold and roll and shove my big full coverage pieces into a Q-Snap. But some people had said that that would be helpful, and I've gotten some feedback that it was, so it's up there. I finally got that done on Wednesday and then never picked it up all week. So Farewell to Anger is also on the plans for this week. I really want to get some work on that this week so then I can rotate back to Harry Potter. So Farewell to Anger, Mirabilia start. When There Are 9. I'd love to get this started and finished this week because, let's all say it together, they should stitch up really fast. my motto. But I also have a lot of projects this week that it's just their regular day of the month to be worked on. So the 22nd, tomorrow, is Mirabilia start. The 23rd, I always work on letters for mom. The 24th is my birthday start from this year, Duke Clover. And then on Friday, I'll get to work on my next sampler for Sampler September. So a couple starts, a sampler September, some regular monthly stitching, and hopefully I touch Farewell to Anger as well. It's always good to have big, ambitious plans. Lately, they're keeping me grounded. Okay, so that's on the plans for this week. I got quite a bit of mail. So we'll show some mail and then do the giveaway. This feels like it's been pretty quick. We'll see how it is after I show what I got in the mail. Okay, so the first thing I got was a super fun surprise from Stitch Life magazine. So Stitch Life magazine is a digital cross-stitch publication. They're on Patreon. They also have a Facebook group. I will link them below because they're doing really great things. It's much more of a modern cross stitch, but they have free patterns. Like if you're a Patreon, you get the publication. I think it's every other month, but there's like a newsletter-ish type thing each week that's published on Patreon, along with free patterns all the time. They do fun live chats. They're just doing really awesome, fun stuff over there. So I will link them and you can check them out. They also apparently send little gifts every other month. I think they got a little delayed in the summer because of life. Like it's been crazy. And so this is the first one I've received, but they kind of doubled everything up, which was unnecessary, but this is such a fun surprise. So I got this fantastic tote bag, which I think now is going to like hold my yarn stash because you're going to see some more yarn next week, that's for sure. Then they also sent one of these great Amazon project bags, which is fantastic because I'm short project bags and I can always use more project bags. Floss drop, love these, and look, it says cross stitch. You see that? Cross stitch. Fun floss drop. Also sent this fantastic tin. It says Stitch Life. And I feel like you could put like you could put a small up on top of there and it would be great. This would hold little needles. So here's their business card. Dana's the founder and editor. So there's their business card. Inside was a needle minder, and this is like so perfect for me. Can you guys see that? It says it's tea time. We'll keep it family friendly, but you guys can read it. And this is so awesome because I absolutely have tea every evening when I'm stitching. So yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna put that right here on my fabric for the when there are 9. I feel like Ruth would approve. And then they also sent these wonderful travel scissors. These are some of my favorite scissors that like fold up, and I'm gonna actually keep these in my car. These are going in my car because I frequently take stitching projects with me, but I don't always remember to grab a pair of scissors. So these are going to go in my car. It was a lovely, wonderful like gift package from Stitch Life magazine. And so I encourage you guys to go check them out. I've been a patron for a little while and I always enjoy seeing their posts pop up in my Patreon feed. So I'll link that below. Okay, so that was the first thing that came in the mail. I also received my nest egg from 3 Owl Threads. I get both Classic Colorworks, 10 skeins of Classic Colorworks and 10 skeins of Gentle Arts from 3 Owl Threads. I believe that her clubs are paused for new members right now while the supply is really short. I think everybody's having a little bit of supply issues, and so I think the clubs are on pause right now, but I will link below so you can keep an eye for when they open again. So for Classic Colorworks, they kind of come by the alphabet, and we're in the C's. So I got chopped chives, cocoa bean, cobbled peach, that's really pretty, cayenne, kind of goes with my shirt, cloud, it's a perfect cloud blue, cashmere, that's kind of like a purplish bluish gray, it's kind of fun, cinnamon toast, love that. I know that's one of the called for colors for cherry blossom, and I love that color. Caterpillar, and this is just like the perfect overdyed dark brown, like dark brown. Reminds me of like 3371 maybe. Chesapeake Bay, I think this was one of the new Nashville colors, and I love it. And then Charisse. So those are the Classic Colorworks. And then Gentle Arts, we got Hyacinth, Huckleberry. I love that. And is this called for in Huckleberry Farm? I don't know. I'm going to kit that up pretty soon. Highland Heather, Island Blue. I am loving that color. Hello, can we please go to the Caribbean? Heirloom Gold, also matches my shirt. Lamb's Wool, Jasmine, that's a pretty light purple. Kiwi, these are coming up a little brighter because of the ring light than what they are, but Grasshopper and Bluebell, and that is just like the palest, prettiest blue. So that was the package from 3 Owl Threads for the nest eggs. I love having threads just sitting around. I also received my Color and, no, not my Color and Cotton, my BeStitchMe Fabric of the Month. I think everybody has gotten them by now because this came pretty early in the week, but just in case you haven't and you're in the BeStitchMe neutral fabric colorway club and you don't want to see, then look away. I get a 32 count linen, and this month's was called Not Another Sampler, which yes, I will start another sampler, and it is perfect for Sampler September. Look at that. It is just, it is the perfect color for Not Another Sampler. So you can kind of see there's some like really light kind of taupey gray modeling, but it is just perfect. I don't know, this might be We Live in Hope. This might have to get kitted up with We Live in Hope because it is just, how good that is. I love her fabric. Give me all the fabric and threads. Okay. I also received my 2020 Christmas ornament issue from Just Cross Stitch. If you guys would be interested in doing a flip through of this, I don't know, I'm sure other people have, but I haven't necessarily seen anybody doing a flip through. So if you would like to see a flip through of this, then let me know. I love this little sweater. This like reindeer sweater is super cute. This Angel from Tiny Modernist. So there are a couple good ones in here. I will say off the bat, I'm not as enthralled with it as I was last year's. Last year's I felt like was like just amazeballs. But there are definitely a couple things in here that I would stitch for sure. So let me know if you want me to do a flip through of that, and I will. And then the last thing I got was a total impulse purchase, and but I couldn't help myself. Diddly Daddle Designs. I love her bags. And she frequently, like, she posts on Instagram when things go in the shop. And when I saw this one, I saw it kind of right when she posted. I do have notifications set. Of course I do. But I saw the notification, I flipped over, I saw this bag, and I hightailed it over to Etsy to grab it because her bags go fast. But look at this. It's turkeys. Look, I love her bags. I haven't bought one in a while, and they're so good. This is her kind of signature, is this little kind of covered double button zipper pull, and she always just nails it with like the fabric. But look, they're turkeys in hats. I had to have it, and I love this contrasting color, and then the inside, so good. I will link her shop below because her bags are amazing. I kind of wish it had been an in-hand stitcher bag because she does ones that are smaller. This one that the Autumn Pennies is in is, cause see, nailed it. She's amazing. So this is the in-hand stitcher size, and this is her regular size, so you can see the difference. So the in-hand stitcher size is perfect for those smaller charts because, especially for me, because I don't need to fit a Q-snap in, but I will always take a roomier bag as well. So I'm going to do a little bag shuffling. Turkey Bay is going to go into this one, and I'm going to use the fall bag from Turkey Bay for touching the autumn sky. So I did have an impulse project bag purchase. It happens. I think that's it though. Is that it? Yes, because everything else. Oh, no. One more thing. I believe it was Heather, right? Heather had a D-stash. Link is my homeboy. I'm pretty sure that's who had a D-stash on Instagram. And I saw this pattern that's been on my wish list forever. And it was a good price, even with the shipping. So I snatched it up. It's by Primitive Needleworks, called Turkey and Pumpkin Pie. She's chasing the turkey and the pumpkin with an axe. Come on now. So, yes. So I did do a little shopping. I have, other than the I voted, I have no finishes for the month. So I'm definitely negative in Stitch from Stash. That's fine. We're all fine here. Yeah, I need to get some stuff finished. And I really am feeling, I think it's why I'm so distracted, because I feel like I have quite a few projects that are just a few days away from finishing. Like if I sat down and worked on them, I would finish them in just a couple days. So that I think is going to be the October focus. I do have 2 starts planned for October, but other than that, I think it's going to be I think maybe just the whole rest of the year is going to be a sit and finish them up kind of year. Like we're going to take things one at a time and finish up all those things that I notoriously say, this will stitch up really fast. So those are maybe a hint at what is coming long-term plan-wise. So that's all I have other than the giveaway. Are you guys ready for the giveaway for this week? So last week I was giving away, since we were talking magazines and magazine starts, I was giving away this beautiful chart by Works by ABC. This came out of the current issue of Just Cross Stitch, the October issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. It came out of this one, but it was for just this beautiful chart. And I told you if you wanted to stitch it to let me know that you wanted to stitch the bouquet. I ran the YouTube random comment picker, and Sarah Contento, I wrote your name down. Sarah Contento, you're the winner. You won. So, and you've already filled out my Google form. So yay. So this is going to get folded up and popped in the mail to you tomorrow. Because I already have your address. So what is the giveaway for this week? First of all, giveaway rules. I need you to be 18 so you can give me your address. You give me your address by filling out my Google form that is linked at the very top in the description box below. That way I just have your address and you don't have to message me, and I have it and I can just send your prize off to you. Please do not say giveaway because I don't want any trolls, and it'd be nice if you were a subscriber. I don't check, but you know, hey, if you're here, just as my favorite podcasters would say, smash that subscribe button. Okay. Cracks me up every time they say it. All right, so I was going through my charts to see what would be a fun thing to give away, and since it's sampler September and I've been stitching on samplers all month, this little one popped out at me because it looks like a little tiny mini sampler. It's Primitive Smalls by Dames of the Needle. Look how cute that is. It's all the things I love, like funky bird, crown. It's just perfect. So this is going to be the giveaway. What are you going to say? You're going to say, I want to stitch the small, because it's like a tiny little mini sampler. So just let me know you want to stitch the small, and I will put you in the running for the giveaway this week. All right, all. That is all I have. I got nothing else for you. I hope that everybody is holding up, because I feel like that's my goal these days, is just to hold up, do the work that needs to be done, and get ready to vote. Get ready to vote. Like I tell you every week, I am a broken record. You're going to hear it for the next 43 days. Make sure you're registered to vote, you have a plan to vote, and I will see you all next week. Until then, bye.